Previously on Raider Power, Texas Tech baseball.
I don't think there's a tremendous amount of value right there at the end of a win, because every guy's thinking is pretty positive. Even the guy that didn't play or the guy that didn't pitch on the weekend is fired up. So you try to say, hey, congratulations, go over some small things, and boom, get them out the road. Now, if you get beat, it's a little more. There's usually a bigger teachable moment. Just a great at bat. I mean, Barrett, he strikes out, but he don't even hesitate. The difference in that is, a guy strikes out, and the first reaction is, upset, frustration. So he stands there, and if he does that, he gets thrown out, and we don't start a rally. And that starts the thing. Okay, and that's huge, because if he feels sorry for himself, he stands there. Then he runs late, and the guy forces out. We got 2 outs, nobody on. As soon as he swung and saw the ball got through, he was gone. And that's a mature play for a guy that's at the time trying to get a hit, trying to get on base, and really changed the inning. That's a real good job of competing. And we made some mistakes, man, but none of them were out from lack of courage or lack of competitiveness. If to give yourself a chance to run a winning streak or have a good season, you have to be consistent, and you have to play the game the right way enough times to give yourself more opportunities to win late in the game. Very proud of you. Enjoy it for an hour. Be careful. Been telling that all year. Enjoy it for an hour. Or if you get beat, think about what you could have done to help your club for an hour, and then get on and move on. And that's the thing about baseball is, we move right into another game or another series all the time. We got big week. We got Tuesday game, which is an important game for us. Okay. That's part of the deal where it's got to be short memory, short memory, short memory, short memory. You're never as bad as you think you are, and you're never as good as you think you are. You probably find yourself somewhere in between, and you better just keep rolling. Important game for us, and we got finals. And you got to do a good job in school, because we're going to make a finish. We're going to make a finish with this bunch right here. Because what happens is if a guy or two, the wrong guy or two, or any guy or two, because we're a little short-handed offensively right now, just with a couple of injuries and different situations, we can't afford to lose a body. And one guy doesn't come through or something in the class, and you lose a guy. I mean, that could really affect our deal.
Raiders on 3, 1, 2, 3, Raiders! Woo!
It's a great day, so if you're getting off work and driving around, come on out here to Danlaw Field and see the Red Raiders for the last time for a couple of weeks.
I love being the voice of the Red Raiders. It's, of all the things I do, and I have lots of different job functions, it's one of the favorite things I do. I love the coaching staff. I love the players, get to travel a lot with them, get to be in part of the group. Basically, you're on the road with them a lot.
Stephen Hagan, the Big 12 Player of the Week. At first base, behind the plate, Kevin Whitehead. And on the mound, the lefty, Robbie Kilcrease.
He's the eyes and voice for people that can't be here. And people get used to, if they're listening to the Red Raiders, they're listening to Robert.
I've always loved baseball, and so it's something very fun to do, and I really kind of feel a part of the team and part of Texas Tech baseball.
These numbers are really, we haven't seen power numbers like this with any team we've played this year.
I've been very lucky in the fact that Gus is basically the third guy that I've worked with that's been very knowledgeable, played the game, and played on the college level and knows a lot about it.
RPI ranked, I think, in the mid-70s.
Mike's insight, too. Mike's a great guy, too. Mike's insight is one of a player, a guy that played. He does a real good job understanding college baseball, and obviously he's a fan of college baseball with the stuff he's got going with the College Hall of Fame and all that.
In a start where he's trying to get extended 5, 6, 7 innings, whatever it is, he needs all 3 pitches.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, and so the first batter of the ball game will sit down via the strikeout.
He finds some things that I don't look for, or I might look for, but I don't completely understand. So he brings it from he's got a very technical, coach, game-oriented, player-oriented take to it, where I've got more of a fan take to it. So I think it's got a nice balance.
That's always good. He needs the secondary pitches, and if he can establish a changeup along the way, it'll serve him well.
The key with those guys is doing their homework, and they both do their homework, because there's all kinds of there's matchups, there's this and that. You know, but being prepared, and they're both very prepared guys.
Bemenish at first, behind the plate Alexander, and on the mound the right-hander Will Lane.
We try to do as much research a couple weeks out. Try to follow Big 12 all year long, because those are the teams, not only do we see everybody, but you talk about them throughout the year too when they're playing each other, so it's good to have some of that knowledge.
Struck out 18, opponents batting .256 off the sophomore right-hander.
If we're going to play a team that we don't traditionally play, who they start midweek, to see kind of what they do, so when we're talking about it, we know, hey, this guy traditionally is the guy that comes out of the bullpen at this point, or this guy's their closer, this guy has been really hot for them.
He has stolen a team-leading 27 bases, that's second best in the league.
For the Tech guys, just a lot of it, it's just keeping up with it, but you're around them so much, a lot of that's kind of walking around knowledge. You'll know what a guy's, you know, how many game hitting streak he has, or how many extra base hits he has on a season.
No balls, no strike. There goes Jamondrick, the pitch on the inside corner for a strike, to throw down to second, not in time, so Magruder with his 28th stolen base of the season.
I love that part of baseball. I love the stats and the numbers. When I was a little kid, I used to do a lot of that on my own, figure out ERAs and batting averages, kind of a geeky thing, but it's really kind of, to me, it's one of the fun things about baseball.
That's the most stolen bases in a single season for the Red Raiders since 2004, when Josh Brady had 34.
It's great being in the booth to watch that. I love baseball, and I think watching them, I mean, I try to tell people this, that like on our website or talking about it, I've seen every pitch of every inning for the last 4 years.
And then he had the game-tying home run on Friday night. He has 6 home runs on the year, 35 runs batted in.
I mean, I'm there day in and day out and kind of see how the team progresses, and to me, that's a really interesting part of it.
And after the game, like the one at Dallas Baptist, where we were we just weren't very good, I wanted to get their attention without, you know, and still be able to practice, still be able to get a good practice and get after it. You don't want to get used to any specific deal. You know, we're going to go 15 minutes of this dynamic stretching, and you know, they're in good enough shape. You can do just about anything you want to them in 15 minutes, and they're going to be able to practice behind it.
Just the reminders, man, that nothing is guaranteed. Time is short.
It was just a way to shake it up and make sure they understood that, you know, we have this many games left in this many days, and you know, we can't afford to waste any of them, especially with the practice limitations we have in the during the finals block.
Especially in these last couple weeks here. I mean, it's kind of coming down to the wire as far as I guess making it to the tournament and finishing really strong as a team.
If we don't do what we're supposed to do or what we're capable of doing,
really kind of stress that sense of urgency here, especially with the time off we have, to really come together as a team and start relying on one another, and making sure everybody's got everybody's back, and make sure we're all pulling for the same thing as a team.
we just got to make sure everybody's attitude's good. Everybody's locked in.
You know, what happens to a young guy is the young guy starts thinking, oh, we're having a solid year. We're doing a good thing. I'm having a good year. I'm going to go play ball in the Cape in the summer, or I'm going to go to summer school and get strong in the summer. They start looking at stuff ahead where there's games to win. We can push this thing.
When they get to the corner, they're going to sprint across.
We're not going to waste a lot of practice time doing this dynamic stretch, but it's going to be 15 minutes just so we make sure everybody's on the same page.
It's a good pace, man. Just need a little more sprint on the back leg right here.
Plus, I wanted to get them to a point of fatigue when we went into the drill work, just to make them lock in a little bit. And they respond fine to that. They're a good group. They're a tough group.
If we get a little more out of Neely, we'll finish this thing.
Well, I guess we'll see if there was some effect.
Good, you got 1 minute, man. Get a drink. Get a drink. We go and we'll change the drill a little bit now that you're loose.